The Galactic Council had ruled the stars for millennia. 9 great species, ancient and arrogant, weaving laws that bound entire civilizations. Their word was gravity. Their will, law, and humanity, young, impetuous, and far too ambitious, had risen faster than any species before. The Council tolerated Earth's rise at first. They found amusement in our speed, fascination in our adaptability, and a faint tremor of fear in our numbers. Humanity spread through the void like wildfire. Terraforming moons, building stations in dark nebulae, mining asteroids beyond mapped borders. But as humanity's influence grew, the Council's laughter turned to whispers. Whispers became fear. Fear turned to plans. And in the end, it was fear that lit the match. It began on Helios 4, a human colony in the Outer Rim. 300,000 souls, thriving on trade and innovation. The Council accused it of sovereign violations, a vague term they'd used countless times to justify dominance. When Earth protested, the Council sent a disciplinary fleet. That fleet didn't bring negotiation. It brought fire. Orbital bombardment began at dawn. Planetary shields, designed for pirate raids, not a Council siege, collapsed within minutes. Cities burned to glass. Oceans boiled. The skies themselves turned to ash. The Council watched from orbit, their admirals smug in their thrones of gold and alloy. "Let this be a lesson," said High Consul Vareth of the Threx Dominion. "Humanity has forgotten its place. Today, we remind them who commands the stars." Helios 4 was erased from every chart by nightfall. The fleet departed. Silence followed, and on Earth, billions watched as the last transmission from Helios crackled across the networks. A child screaming, "They're burning us!" before static swallowed the signal. The arrogance of gods, the Council expected outrage. They expected threats, perhaps sanctions or legal appeals to their high tribunal. What they didn't expect was silence. Weeks passed, no human retaliation, no fleets mobilizing, no speeches from the Terran president. Earth simply went quiet. News anchors read the Council's decrees in trembling voices. Analysts debated human restraint. The galaxy's younger species watched and whispered, "Perhaps Earth is afraid." In the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, arrogance festered. High Consul Vareth preened before the hollows. "See how docile they are when reminded of their fragility," he declared. "The Terrans bark loud, but they bleed like all others." Ambassadors laughed. Treaties were drafted to carve up human trade routes. Mining rights were seized, embassies raided. Human envoys were detained, their ships impounded for inspection. The Council's pride swelled with every insult. And still, Earth said nothing. Behind closed doors, some grew uneasy. The Zillan scholars, an ancient race of thinkers, warned, "Humans are not cowards. They are storms disguised as silence." But Vareth only laughed. "Then let them storm. We are the Council. We are the galaxy's law." Celebrations erupted across the capital world of Aurelia Prime. A grand parade marched through crystalline streets. Hollow banners shimmered with the Council's emblem. At the head of the procession, Vareth raised a chalice of molten gold. "To power," he roared. "To dominion eternal." Thunderous applause. Fireworks filled the sky, and somewhere, far beyond the rim of known space, a single Terran signal pulsed into the void. It was short, coded, untraceable. Phase 1, complete. Begin reclamation. Third. The silence breaks. It began with whispers on the edges of known space. A Council patrol disappeared near the Perseus Gate, then another near the Ketron Expanse. Communications faltered. Beacons went dark. Entire sectors fell silent, one after another. The Council assumed rebellion. Pirates, malfunctions, rogue AI. They dispatched fleets to investigate. None returned. Then came the broadcast. Every screen, every console, every comm relay in the galaxy flickered to life. The image, a Terran admiral in black and silver armor, the blue-white crest of Earth glowing at his shoulder. His voice was calm, measured, too calm. "This is Admiral Ilya Sato of the Terran Vanguard Command. You destroyed Helios the 4. You slaughtered our people. You mocked our silence. We are done speaking. We are answering." The transmission ended with 3 words. "Operation Retribution begins." Moments later, the stars lit up. Human fleets emerged from dark space, ships unseen in any registry, cloaked in stealth fields the Council had deemed impossible. Dreadnoughts the size of moons glided from the void, their hulls armored with experimental composites that bent light and radar alike. The first strike hit Vareth's homeworld. Threx planetary defenses never fired a shot. Orbital platforms melted under kinetic bombardment. Human rail cannons, firing slugs at a third the speed of light, turned continents into seas of molten glass. Within 4 hours, Threx ceased to exist. Then came the others. Council shipyards burned. Supply lines vanished. Command stations imploded under precision strikes. No declarations. No negotiations, only coordinated. Surgical annihilation. The galaxy finally realized Earth hadn't been silent out of fear. They'd been preparing. When Earth's wrath awoke, the Terran fleet's advance was methodical, merciless, unstoppable. For every colony the Council had burned, 10 of their own were turned to dust. For every envoy executed, an admiral was vaporized in his command chair. Humanity didn't fight for conquest. They fought for memory. For every life lost on Helios 4. For every voice silenced under Council arrogance. In the skies above Aurelia Prime, the Council's capital, fleets clashed in what history would call the burning of the thrones. The Council deployed everything: planetary shields, dreadnought armadas, gravity wells, antimatter lances. But against the Terran Dread Corps, it meant nothing. Human ships moved in synchronized precision, each strike preceded by cold. Efficient transmissions, target lock confirmed, justice authorized, commence cleansing, and then silence, before worlds died. Council generals described it as fighting an extinction event, not a species. Human ships didn't retreat. They didn't negotiate. They calculated down to seconds, trajectories, fuel ratios. The ISS Behemoth, humanity's flagship, carried the orbital rail array known as Judgment's Hand. Its weapon could split moons in half. When it fired, entire fleets vanished in a bloom of incandescent fury. The Behemoth's captain, Serena Holt, transmitted one final warning to the Council as they scrambled in panic. You wanted power. You wanted obedience. You thought yourselves gods. Now kneel before your creation. Then, the skies themselves ignited. Aurelia Prime's twin suns were shattered, one by kinetic impact, the other by gravitational inversion bombs. The system collapsed in on itself, swallowing the seat of galactic power in a storm of molten debris. Billions watched across the galaxy as the Council's light went out forever. The day the galaxy stopped breathing, the aftermath was silence. Every species, every empire, every station waited, holding their breath as if sound itself might draw Earth's gaze. The Council was gone, its fleets, ash, its worlds, cinders drifting through cold space. Human ships now hung in orbit over former Council systems, dark and unmoving like tombstones. No demands came. No conquest followed. Just a single transmission, broadcast on every frequency. Retribution concluded. Humanity does not seek dominion. We do not crave power. But should you harm us again, you will remember Helios 4 and understand why thunder answers silence. After that, the Terran fleets withdrew. They left behind no occupation, no tribute, no new laws, only wreckage and fear. In the vacuum left by the Council's fall, minor species scrambled to rebuild order. They debated. They argued. But none dared to challenge Earth. Stories spread like fire. Tales of soldiers who fought through radiation storms, of drones that tore apart armadas, of the Behemoth, seen drifting silently, its cannons still warm. Every rumor ended the same way. Do not provoke the Terrans. Their vengeance sleeps lightly. 6. What power truly means years passed. Trade routes reopened. New governments formed. The galaxy began to breathe again, quietly, cautiously. But even in peace, the memory remained. Children on frontier worlds whispered ghost stories of the humans from the black. Merchants paused their shipments when Terran ships requested passage. Diplomats lowered their voices when Earth's name came up. And in the grand halls where the Council once ruled, a monument now stood, a sphere of black glass, forged from the ashes of Aurelia Prime, etched across it in every known language, were words simple and terrible. Power is not domination. Power is restraint. No one claimed responsibility for the monument's construction. No one dared remove it. Earth returned to its silence, not out of weakness, but out of choice. They rebuilt Helios IV's colonies, scattering seeds of life across new worlds. But in the shadows, their fleets remained vigilant, hidden in dark space, watchful, patient, and every so often, when another species grew too bold, too proud, they'd glance toward Sol and remember the thunder that once rolled across the stars. HFY. The echo that never fades. Decades later, an alien historian, a Xylan named Jorath, stood before the ruins of what was once Aurelia Prime. He recorded his thoughts into a crystal archive. The council wanted power above all else. They believed strength meant control, that dominion meant immortality. But they learned, too late, that power without honor summons ruin. Earth did not seek the throne. They shattered it, and in doing so they taught us what it truly means to hold power. He paused, staring at the stars. We mocked their silence, he whispered. But silence was never surrender. It was the drawing of breath before the storm. Above him, lightning flickered across the remnants of a dead world. Ion,